and Raf Rant. I'm Raf.
And I'm Raf. We're Raf.
Rafa Rispo of the Far From Vesuvius podcast. That's Ralph Pizarro of Calcio Napoli Club. Just rant about Napoli.
Let's go for it.
We're going to rant. We're going to match report. We're going to talk about the games. We're going to talk about topics. You leave comments and we'll read your comments out. Question.
All right. Quick stats.
Yes. Throw the stats up there. On to a nice little segment that we're going to call the Beast of the Match.
Who is beasting it for the Napoli team? Let's see.
Follow us on Facebook. Rafael Rispo, Ralph Pizarro. Twitter at RafaNapoli83. That's me.
CNC USA 26.
I want some feedback to the show. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see more or less of? This is going to be a show for you guys too. I want a lot of comments.
We want to rant about something. Let us know if you want us to rant about something.
I promise you we're not going to agree on everything all the time.
We won't.
We're going to yell at each other every now and then.
Come and rant. This is what it's for. We want to give you a space to let loose so you can do it here.
Well, that's going to do it, Ralph. You know, were we boring enough for you?
I don't know. I think we were great.
Let's get to it.
Madonna do Carmen, aiutici tu.
And benvenuti, fellas and bellas all over the world. Welcome to another episode of the Raf and Raf Rant. I am Raf Biz, joined by my co-host, the Vicar of Vesuvius, Rafa Rispo. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Ralph Biz. How are you today, my friend?
I am well. I am real well, sir. And how are you?
I wonder why.
You
You know, I woke up this morning.
How was your... Go on.
I'm sorry. I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling too good. You know, my throat, a little scratchy. You know, something happened yesterday where I just lost my shit and yelled for an hour straight and was shaking a little, you know, just shaky for an hour. Something happened. I don't know.
Let's ask
put my foot on it.
I don't know what it was. I mean, shout out to the chat. Let's get this rant to the road. What do you think happened on Sunday?
What was it? I mean, I can't really put my foot on it.
I'm forgetful right now. I need some ginkgo biloba. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sunday.
I don't know. Something happened. It was around like, I don't know, we'll say 4:40, 4:45-ish.
Yeah. I feel like it must have happened somewhere in Lazio.
It had something to do with, you know,
Rome. I don't know. I'm getting like
an impossible shot. I don't know. Someone laying a pass off where we thought he was going to shoot it. And speaking of, you know, not being able to put my foot on it, you know, it seems to me like somebody put their foot on it and made it happen. You know?
Oh yeah,
baby.
Well, you know what? I'm starting to remember. It's starting to come to me. Actually, you know what? I have even a better idea, Rafa. We have a special guest here tonight.
We do.
Maybe we can ask that person, and they can help us figure out what's going on. So you know him, you love him. He is the host of the Forza Napoli podcast, the one, the only, Joe Fischetti. Here we are.
Joe Fischetti is here. Joe, you got to help us out, man. What the hell is going on here? Huh? What's going on?
You know what? I'm still trying to figure out what ginkgo biloba is, or Raph has me flying backstage back.
Yeah, it's not like a strand or anything. It's
there's a new COVID going on.
Yeah, it's a new COVID. Right.
Listen, I apologize in advance to everybody about my voice today. I couldn't help myself last night. And if you guys saw my Twitter, you know why. I lost it.
Love it this one.
Nah, man, I got a Rafarador.
Right, I got
a Rafarador.
Oh man,
I'm good, man. I'm psyched. Come on, man. We're in first freaking place. That's why I don't have a voice, baby.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
Joe. Man, what a game. We were talking before we got on, and I was just saying how much Napoli needed this win. Let's start there a little bit. Considering the results over the past week or two, you know, does this win, is it just another win? Is it bigger? Is it important? is there anything special about this Sunday? You know, how does Napoli kind of take this and kind of help them boost them to the rest of the season, Joe? Where do you see this Sunday for Napoli? How important was it to them?
Oh, this was huge. I mean, not just the fact that we got the result, but the way it happened as well. I mean, it was our third straight round with a chance to go top of the table. We didn't do it against Inter, pissed off a lot of fans because of the way we approached that match.
Sure.
There was a lot of debate about that. Was it too conservative?
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the chance against Cagliari, a team that's, at the bottom of the table, granted, playing very well right now.
Yeah.
But still, you think to yourselves, how often are all the top teams going to drop points and give us these chances?
Right.
And we miss the opportunity there. Then we get another gift coming into this round. Obviously a tougher matchup playing in Rome, away from home. Tough team. Lazio's in form. And we come away with the win. And the way we did it, right? To me, it's almost even bigger the way it happened. Then let's say, if we won 3-0 or something, that would have been great, obviously. And we would have all had a little bit more hair on our head.
Right.
But to do it with a last minute kick, the way they all ran to the ultras, celebrating in the corner, Spalletti's in there with the players, everybody's, that's a huge boost in morale and confidence.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of work to be done, but this was a massive, massive win.
Yeah. Much needed. I feel the same way. I feel, especially between fans, like the emotions were really, really high this game. The chats, the Discord, just wild, everybody on edge. Yeah. And I mean, us not play down. We're already on edge. We don't need these kind of results or these kind of games going down to the very last minute to stoppage time to rile us up like that. But Jesus, we needed this win so bad. And yeah, I think, and it's funny, like with considering what happened against Cagliari, to maybe pump out another draw with two former Napoli coaches back to back. I mean, like, I think Spalletti was like, dropping a bit the stock, and I think he really needed that, man. He needed like that candle wick to kind of go green and go up a little bit, help him out. Rafa, I mean, I can hear already by the sound of your voice how you felt about the game, but can you just describe, what it meant to you to win this one, considering what we dealt with against, like Joe said, against Inter, against Cagliari? Well, how do you feel about it? How did you react?
I mean, just the gratification of being one of the guys who, is always sticking up for this club, no matter what, through their faults, through their issues. I'm always giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I always believe they can. Sometimes I'm a fault for finding excuses around certain situations, and I know that Joe, because I heard your last couple of episodes, Joe. You mentioned the people that are out there that are pessimists and the people that are out there that are more positive and this and that, and I smile when I hear you say things like that because I know I'm part of that. I'm part of the crowd there. So like
of optimists.
Just the fact that I told you so. I told you we could do it. I might have said that I don't want to be out of Europe, and I still don't want to be out of Europe. Let's just put it face the facts. I'm upset that we're out of Europe. But there were reasons why, and I accepted it. You know what I mean? If we pulled off awful performance after awful performance with our,
A squad, the A line,
right. Without 2 injuries per position, in 2 different positions. Then I would be like, you know what? This isn't the year. This isn't happening. Mm-hmm. But we were missing some significant players. Right. I mean, just to have to put Elmas on the right for both Politano and Lozano. just to have Demme play, which is not a knock on Demme. I actually really like Demme, but he's not the first choice for Spalletti like he was for Gattuso.
Right.
And I'm gonna get into Demme a little bit more, but just the fact that we were missing key components to our game and dropping these points, for me, it was like, okay, these are the reasons why. Wait till we get our, stuff together again.
Wait till the boys come home, right?
Right. And yesterday, as it unfolded, I just couldn't have been more proud. And I'm getting emotional, man. Me, guys, I'm always emotional.
Reese, but when you cry, angels get their wings. It's okay.
Well, then there must be a lot of angels. Because
hell yeah, a lot of angels.
I just, you guys have. I mean,
on top of that, too, even Patrick Kendrick said it about how hard it is. Only two teams won against Lazio at home this year.
Yes, we are the second team that beat Lazio at home.
Yeah, actually, I think he said one loss in their last 25 home matches. So I think
so it goes beyond this season. You know,
tough odds.
It's just when that ball went in the back of that net, I knew that this is going to be like, this is going to be our, like, I'm putting it out there right now. I don't want to jinx anything, but we can win this scudetto. We can. And once that ball went in the back of that net, it's like, and that's another thing. When we'll get into the play, but when Insigne laid that ball off, I knew it before Fabian even touched it. I knew it. I said, this is going in the back of the net.
Yeah. He was prepping. I almost feel like Ruiz was prepping all game for that goal.
Well,
he had
we'll get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
I have my theory.
I'm so excited.
I know, but I have my theory of why Fabian was so important in the last part of the match. And it just unfolded in front of me. Like, first of all, when you're putting Elmas in the right position, and then you have a returning Lobotka, I just you can see what happens when we have our aces in the hole and our depth for that reason, depth.
Right.
And it just felt amazing, man. Amazing isn't even the word to describe it. Again, I said this in the tweet. This was the Koulibaly goal all over again, bro. Like, for me, this was as big as, if not bigger than, the Koulibaly goal against Juventus in Torino in 2018. And I didn't lose my voice that day. I lost my voice this day,
It was funny because just last week, Rafa, on our show, when we had Gaetano up here, I was saying how much I was like, I want Fabian Ruiz at the top of the goal kicking the ball. This needs to happen more. And I get it, because Lobo was there and all that, and it works out. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. Joe, how fundamental is it to the Napoli's offense to have, and not just not just Fabian Ruiz, also Zielinski. Like how much of more of a dynamic does it add to our attack when you have these guys on top of the box, just with these cannons ready to blast towards the net?
Well, it's huge, especially when you consider the lack of contribution from our wingers as far as goals go. Like, I don't think Insigne has been as bad as a lot of people like to think. I think a lot of that is being influenced by being upset that he's leaving, but we've seen that Osimhen can do a lot of things, but he can't be the only guy on the team that's
right.
Scores. And when you look at the other guys that are contributing, it is Zielinski and Fabian that we're looking to get those goals. So, great. Hopefully Insigne can build off of this game and build up some momentum and start to put more in the back of the net. But yeah, we need Fabian and Zielinski to score for sure.
100%. It was let's do the beast of the match, because I think that's gonna help us kind of go into the rest of this game and maybe talk about what the future beholds. So I want to get that out the way. So out to the chat, Beast of the match, guys. Who was it for you? Who do you feel was important? Not just the man of the match, but somebody who did some work, that sometimes goes unnoticed. But here we are, guys. There he is, guys. I had to do this. This was, it could have gone different ways, but I'll be honest. I kind of strong-armed Rafa into this a little bit, and Joe. But
I'm happy to be convinced, man. Trust me.
I see already. Spina, underrated goalkeeper, definitely 100%.
For sure.
Did a great job. He could certainly have been on this board. Insigne did a great job, the Capitano. But yeah, Peter knows me so well. Elmas, homer pick, but I respect it. Listen,
well,
this guy. I'm sorry. I'll start off quick, and then I'm going to hand it to you guys. I mean, I picked him because he got on the field, and the game changed immediately.
For sure.
Not only that, but it really reminded me of the beginning of the season. Right when our plan B was as good, if not better, than our plan A. When that one little sub or one or two subs came in, we're able to change the dynamic of the game, and we were able to grind out wins. This Elmas performance reminded me of the beginning of the season when I picked this team to win the scudetto. I got that feeling again this week, and yes, I know I'm a huge advocate for him, but on top of that, he did get the assist for one of the goals. He got the hockey assist for the second goal. He would have gotten the assist for the offside goal. I mean, this man really help the offense take the game, and he helped Napoli win. No disrespect to Zielinski. He's been tired, but don't forget Elmas has had to do whatever he's been asked to do, whether it be the right wing, the right back, the left wing, the mid, the number 10, the striker, maybe the goalie one day. I mean, this kid is doing everything for us. He is a star ready to be, ready to shoot, ready to be born. And I wanted to give him some credit because I think he does a lot for the team, and he's a great player to have. So, gentlemen, your reaction.
I am on board with it, man. I am. You said it. Elmas comes in. The game is changed instantly. The first half was extremely frustrating. If we're going to start talking about the match itself, the first half was extremely frustrating. Lazio were sure to score, in my opinion. I think it was just something needed to be done and needed to be done quick. And Elmas I want to say Elmas was our first substitution, right, for Zielinski. Poor Zielinski, I love him. Everybody does. He's vital to this club. But sometimes, like Joe has referenced in his show, Zielinski is or an appearance. I think you said this on an appearance. It might have been the the Italian football podcast, Joe, where you said Zielinski is, an important piece to the puzzle, but sometimes he just doesn't show up. He's got to be a little more consistent. Elmas steps in and completely changes the game. Now, we had Elmas on the right. I mean, we had no other options on the right, so Elmas had to cover there. So it was really hard for him to help cover the midfield as well. But when you put Elmas centrally or you put him on the left, you see results. Things happen. And I just feel like he opened the play up, and it was just brilliant from there. Brilliant play from Elmas. I think not only does he get the beast of the match, but it goes very well noticed. Like you mentioned, Ralph, sometimes it goes unnoticed. It goes noticed very well. I do want to give a nod. I will give a nod to another player. Maybe we'll get Joe's opinion on our choice for beast of the match first, and then I'll talk about.
Okay, yeah, let's get Joe in there about Elmas, and then we'll take it away from there. Joey, Leaf Elmas. Do you agree even? I mean, or
Yeah, I think for me it was down to two people, and I see a lot of the comments talking about Insigne. It's hard to ignore what Insigne did, obviously, in this match, but I'm totally on board with Elmas getting the beast of the match. I think his performance, it reminded me of Felipe Caicedo at Lazio over the last couple of seasons. When they would start him, he would just underwhelm. but off the bench, it was like a different player. And that's what I felt with Elmas in this match, that as a starter, he had been struggling in the previous matches. And you guys are right, playing on the right wing is not well suited for the way he plays. But coming off the bench, it just seemed like Lazio couldn't keep up with him. And, and he was that outlet where we just play a long ball towards the midfield, and he would always get to the ball first. And his touch was on. He was one touch, ball was perfectly in control, and then he was able to find his teammates. And I think it's also really a couple of comments. One is that he had Politano on the right wing.
Right.
I can't stress enough how important it is to have a natural winger playing on the wing, because so much of our attack goes through the wings that if you have a guy like Elmas, unfortunately, that's playing there kind of out of position, it just takes options away, and maybe doesn't have the same chemistry with Di Lorenzo and so on. Sure. The other comment I had was that we have to give Spalletti a lot of credit. We've been criticizing Spalletti, and rightfully so, for being too late with his substitutions, for not playing Mertens with Osimhen together. We all want to see that pair. Lots of speculation about why that might be, that Mertens hasn't been playing as much lately. But he made this change in the 56th minute, right? And to take off a player like Zielinski,
right,
who's one of our best players, certainly one of our more dangerous attacking threats, I think we got to give Spalletti some credit here for making this change, because that did completely change the match.
Does that switch put confidence into Elmas to come onto the field the way he did, and just because he looked super energetic? It wasn't like he just came on. He was attacking. He was running. He looked, as fresh as newly clean sheets. Like is his confidence growing? And I mean, you can even tell I believe he was central, but more towards the right too. Maybe all these past couple games playing at the wing, maybe helped him out a little bit, helped his form a little bit coming off that side, and you see a little bit of switching going on with Insigne and him. But does that give a player confidence?
I think the field? Yeah, absolutely. The way he played. I mean, the one thing I love about Elmas is the guy just doesn't run out of energy to begin with. Like, whether he starts or comes off the bench, he runs. And one of the things that's been lacking in these last couple of matches against Cagliari, Barcelona, and so on, was we just didn't seem to have that hunger, right? There were a couple players. Osimhen always has it. Mario Rui always has it.
Right.
But everyone else, it was missing.
Yeah.
But Elmas comes on and yeah, he may not have the best touch. He doesn't score as many goals, but he's going to give you energy, right? And
he sweats. He's going to sweat in that shirt.
Yeah, and I think Lazio kind of buckled there when they didn't know how to handle
him. Joe, would it be fair to ask if you think that Elmas coming in helped Insigne's performance as well? I can remember, maybe it was just out of frustration from the first half. I can remember questioning, like appreciating the early sub, but questioning taking Zielinski out instead of Insigne at that point. Thank God I was wrong. But do you think maybe Elmas helped everyone bet out? Like not just the dynamic of the match, but the players on the pitch as well?
Yeah, I think so. I you kind of alluded to it, but I don't think Zielinski was having his best game.
Sure.
And I think Elmas started to stretch Lazio out a little bit. I mean, it was a very open half, chances at both ends. But when you have a player that's dynamic like Elmas is, he's going to draw attention, and that's just going to create space for everybody else. And if we can pass the ball like we're capable of passing the ball, then we can destroy teams. Sure. Right? Like we know that when we play our game, which we've gotten away from, and we've been forced, this 3-4-2-1, which was kind of forced with just availability of players.
Right.
We got away from that. But when we play in our system and we play the game that we've been practicing all season with, when we're on, look out. And even then you have value for guys like Unas that come off the bench, like the pass that Unas played to Almas. So I guess
Also did okay coming off the bench.
Yeah,
he helped.
despite all the crazy social media videos that he's got going out with Spider-Man and all.
I was digging at him all before the
we
match.
we definitely shit on him last week too a little
Well,
bit.
my cousin and I looking at his social media. I said, "Look at this guy's social media." I said, "This guy's a superstar in his own mind." This guy, and my cousin keeps going, "Nah, leave Spider-Man alone. Leave him alone." So, I mean, it's amazing to me that Unas can't even see starting a role. You know, that they'd rather put Elmas on the right where he's not well suited, and you can easily slip Unas into the right. You know, I know normally he plays a left wing, but a winger is still a winger. They know what they have to do,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, just Unas playing that ball that he played to Elmas, and Elmas being able to find Insigne, it was just the perfect sequence. It was the perfect sequence. But I want to talk just a little bit. I mean, unless you guys want to go to the Insigne goal, and then I'll talk about who I felt could also have been part of Beast of the Match. The Insigne goal was just another phenomenal play, another amazing shot. Not your normal Insigne tira giro, and him getting that goal, just like that was another moment in the match where I felt, okay, something's going on here. There's a shift here. There's a shift in attitude and mentality. Big word. Shift in mentality that, and it was just a goal, it was only a goal to go up, but even giving up the equalizer, which was a brilliant shot by Pedro, and not, in my opinion, nothing you could do for Ospina. I mean, he even got a hand on it, you know what I mean? But the defense played the ball the way they should have, and it just fell to Pedro's foot, and he scored. So I wasn't even like I was mad at the equalizer, but I wasn't even like, whose fault is this? I wasn't trying to blame anyone. It was just couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
But the Insigne moment for me was when he scored that goal, and it was like, oh wow, see, I can score from open play. If my focus is solely is on a goal to win, we're gonna win. So Insigne was a shout for me, but I would like to think that he was man of the match instead of beast of the match. I don't know if that's fair.
I think everybody, especially in the chat, Rafa, I mean, that's kind of been the consensus. So
yeah,
it's a fair statement, and I can definitely back you on that, because listen, we gave him a little bit of a hard time last week as well, but at the same time, we need Insigne to do these things if we want to win. I mean, he is important to the squad right now, no matter what. That's his spot over there on the left. He needs to perform, and when he does what he did even yesterday, you see what happens. I mean, he takes a nice low shot and he scores. He drops that ball to Fabian Ruiz for the assist. This is man, for me, the captain that Insigne is the guy who literally, like, I think of who's the dude from Rockefeller Center, the one that's holding the earth on his shoulders. What Greek god was that? I don't know. Anybody got?
We're in New York, guys.
In New York, shame on me.
We don't even know what the hell's going on.
I failed Greek. I failed Greek mythology. But listen, to me, what I'm trying to get at was that Insigne is this guy that I think holds a lot of this, or as his captaincy. Captaincy. Thank you, captaincy. Yeah, is Atlas. Thank you, guys. Atlas the Titan. Mr. Atlas. Okay, there we go. Atlas this is Insigne. It's like he has to hold that weight for his team.
I'm sure.
All right. No, we got the chat on board here.
Yeah, chat's in there, man.
Chat's in the house, bro. Man. You know what I'm saying? Trust in the chat. That he's going to hold some of this pressure from the team. He takes all the criticism. He lays off the passes for teams to score. This is Insigne's davvero. This is his thing, in my opinion.
Well, the
and
thing
we
is,
saw that yesterday, and we won.
The thing is that people need to realize that, like, Insigne does a lot more than just score goals. You know, when I hear people saying things like, "Well, he hasn't scored a goal from open play," and it's like, I get that, but he does a lot more than just score goals. You know what I mean? Just because he scored 19 goals last season and he just found his second goal from open play yesterday doesn't mean he doesn't contribute to the squad. And we're gonna miss that. Hopefully we can replace that when he goes off to Toronto, but we're gonna miss that, man. We are.
Right.
We're just gonna miss that dynamism.
Right.
Dynamism.
Dynamism.
The dynamism. Yeah.
Dynamism.
What's wrong with us today?
What's wrong today, man?
But you know what?
A long weekend, guys.
The best way that I can convey that point, Rafa, and I've been saying this to people online and wherever else, is that whenever I see someone complain about Insigne, I say, well, who's better? Who is better to put on the left wing right now with,
Right.
Lozano's out. Maybe you can say Lozano, maybe. He's not exactly had a great year either.
I mean, yeah.
But even if Insigne's form has dropped from last season, he is still the best option on the left wing, and we still play better when he's in the squad.
Right.
He's the best option in Italy because he's the Italian. They've even said it. He's going to play in the World Cup if we make it.
Right.
It's not like he's not going to. Who's better than Insigne, even if he goes to the MLS? Who cares? He's going to play. He's the best option that Italy has. Never mind Napoli and Serie A, But, man, that Fabian. I tell you.
I just want this on record, by the way.
I want this
on record.
And listen, Gaetano, I mean, I don't remember if I posted this. I might have posted it to one of our things, but I took a video after the Insigne goal saying I take back all the shit I talked about him in that match. Like, I was frustrated in the match. I was frustrated. I'm never really frustrated at him per se. But I was frustrated. He pulled up, he kind of started limping in the first half. If you guys remember, he was like really kind of walking funny on the ham shot. I thought maybe he pulled something, or he was like full of shit that he has to get out because he's saving his injury, saving himself to not get injured for Toronto. And I'm like, look at this guy. He's so full of shit. Come on, get back to it, but he got back to it, man. Like, I mean, I ate my words for that match, but honestly, there's no better option, like Joe said, than Insigne for real.
Definitely not. I hope this kind of springboards the rest of the team to keep up the intensity, especially from Insigne. He's gone. He knows his fate. He knows his future, and I would really love for him. Scudetto or no Scudetto, at the end of the day, somebody had said about anybody can drop point, and it's true. I still think, and we'll kind of touch base on that a little bit soon, but no matter what happens at the end of the season, I want Insigne to go down swinging no matter what. I don't want him, after all he's done, after dedicating his whole career to this city, to leave in his last season, so like, oh, look, he played like shit. He didn't score. Good for him. Let him go. I don't want to define his legacy of a bad season, If he can turn it around, I think everybody forgives him. I think it's water under the bridge. I think we forget the bad, maybe some of the bad form that he had. But if we can take over the spring, Lorenzo Insigne, and drive this team along with Spalletti to some new heights that we haven't seen in a long time, win or lose, I think it will help define at least his career in Napoli.
Yeah.
In a positive light.
I agree. I think that a lot of people are still going to question his move and question his loyalty, and whether they win or not. We're gonna see a lot of people hate on him. I think even if we come close and don't win the Scudetto, which for me is, I think, has become important. Like, my expectations of the club have changed from the beginning of the season to now. You know, when you're in first place, even with Inter's game in hand, I don't care about that right now. Like that's not even scheduled yet. So let's not even focus on that right now. We have to have that mentality that they've already played that and they lost. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my opinion, this team has to pull together, and Insigne's got to get these guys, and Koulibaly and Mertens and Zielinski, you know, the guys that have been there, have got to get this team to thinking, yo, forget about that match in hand that they have. We need to beat Milan. We need to go 3 clear of them.
Right.
Get that tie break. We already have a tie break on Juve. If in case a miracle occurs and they, you know, catch us, like we were talking about off the air, Joe. Just stay focused in this stretch, man. Is 11 games. It's 11. I mean, I know this, people say this a lot, 11 finali, like 11 more finals, but it really is true. There's 11 finals, man. Like,
oh no, absolutely.
If we can maintain this road, because again, unbeaten in 2022, if we can maintain this road, Inter will slip up. It's highly unlikely they slip up against Salernitana, so don't get discouraged. But they will slip up again because they have to play this derby, then tomorrow. Then they have to play Champions League again, and they have another derby second leg where they're not going to want to lose in a derby. Never mind it's Coppa Italia. They're not going to want to lose to Milan in a 2-legged derby to get to a Coppa Italia final. They're not going to want to lose that. So they're going to be laser focused on that too. You know, they've got to slip somewhere. Hopefully it's in the league, but the game in hand is against a tough opponent in Bologna. You know, they're no slouches either.
But here's the deal. You know, a friend of mine mentioned it to me. He's like, no matter the game in hand, Inter still have to perform. Like they can't drop points in the other games. So even if they got a game in hand,
aren't scoring right now, man.
Yeah.
And they're guys in the game in hand. The pressure is also on them.
Right.
Look at their manager just came out and said, "Oh, no one ever asked us to win a scudetto." Are you kidding me?
They're crumbling.
Well, because okay, I get it. You lost Conte. First of all, you shouldn't be saying that. You had guy like Conte. You're replacing a guy like Conte. That should not be your mindset. A, B, you lost Lukaku and Hakimi, but you made up for that. And you've been performing all season. You don't come to the stretch where there's pressure and say, "Oh, well, no one ever asked us to win the scudetto." I feel like that's what has been said at Napoli a lot. And these are reasons why we lose. Sarri always made excuses. F that guy. I'm telling you right now. F that guy. He always made an excuse. Always. And I feel like it trickled down to Ancelotti and Gattuso. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, we won't talk about the Scudetto. Spalletti's talking about the Scudetto. Spalletti's saying, yeah, you guys thought that we had no guts, no character. Now look at us. Now what are you going to say? It felt like what he said was what I said after we scored. All you haters out there, all you Napoli fans out there with no faith, now what? Now what?
Right.
Spalletti said that, and I love that he said that.
Yeah. Remember that energy, boys and girls. All right. When you're out there in these chats, I know it gets emotional, but remember that energy. Don't forget what you're saying, man. This is why this loser mentality. I do not subscribe to any of that.
One or two bad performances that still result in points attained. Okay, you can look at them as points dropped too, but one or two bad performances here and there, and all of a sudden we're the worst team in Serie A. We don't deserve this. We don't deserve that. We don't. But then you pull off a win like we did yesterday against Lazio. Now it's, oh, I still believe. I knew it. Don't give me that. Don't give me that, because I know fans want to react the way they want to, and I've learned in the past year or so to respect that and to not get on everybody's case for tweeting prematurely or for overreacting. You want to vent the way you want to vent. Go ahead. But don't sit here and tell me you knew they could do it when everybody in here knows they can't do it. Well, all of a sudden, here we are.
This
You know
is
what I
true,
mean?
but yes. But it did go in. Listen, we had plenty of
I
bad
don't think
luck.
so.
It's about time
I
we
don't
got
think so. I don't think it would have been a different episode because
slightly
again,
different.
well, maybe, but again, I mean, I would have a voice, that's for sure.
You would have a voice.
But
Joe's booked last week, so we're good.
what I'm trying to say is yesterday we played so much better and it showed. And if that ball didn't go in, we still went at him. And didn't give up. It's the same thing as I said against Cagliari. We played the shittiest game we've ever played. You know, I feel in the ADL era, and we still got something from that. Like that doesn't happen. You could go back to the Empoli game and the Spezia game and the this game and the that game and say, oh, points drop there. But guess what? We're not there anymore. We're here. I don't want to hear that as an excuse for why we are where we are when we're in first place with 11 games left. Oh, well, because I know there would be, I'm sorry, because I know there would be somebody out there saying things like, well, we'd be 3 points ahead if we beat Spezia, or well, if the ball didn't go in against Empoli, we'd be 6 points ahead. Like,
and if we were undefeated, we would have won the scudetto.
I mean, what do you want to do? You want to be the invincible Arsenal team or the unbeaten Juve team?
Yeah,
like,
and the other teams can say the same thing. They dropped points to lower tier teams as well.
Jesus
We can't just
Christ.
say, "Oh, if we won all our games, that we'd be first place." Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
But we didn't, and neither did Inter or Milan or Juve or whoever.
Thank you, Sherlock. Right,
Yeah.
Joe. I mean, what? But are you? You know, what is your outlook now towards the spring? I mean, realistically, like, are you confident? Are you still? I shouldn't say skeptical, but conservative on the matter. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who listens to my show knows that I'm a very conservative guy to begin with, and I hate. Yeah, not that I'm into like jinxing or anything like that, but I try to be as objective as possible. And from the outside looking in, there's still a lot of work to do. I'm not saying it can't be done. It absolutely can. I think in terms of the number of games we have to play, our schedule is favorable. Raf already talked about, both Milan teams playing each other. Juve still in the Coppa Italia if you want to include them in the mix. They're still in the Champions League. Yeah. Even Atalanta, they're still in the Europa League, and they got a big win today. So in that sense, in terms of the number of games, the schedule's in our favor. And with a coach like Spalletti, who knows how to prepare for matches, that could only be good for us. And I know Rafa's talked about this a lot, about wanting to win the Europa League, and that's another debate. I don't think many Napoli fans actually want to lose, but the silver lining, if you could call it that, or the benefit of not being in that competition is now we have a week to focus on every match like Inter did last season.
Mm-hmm.
Then being realistic, we have to consider that us along with Milan have very difficult run-ins. If you look at our schedules, I'm not saying we can't do it, but we have a lot of teams that we've had trouble with in the past. So I'm very curious to see how Spalletti handles this. And I think you have to do it on a week-by-week basis. You can't get ahead of yourself. But, we got the Milan game. That's huge, which people might disagree with this and we could talk about it, but I don't think it's a must-win necessarily. I think a draw is a decent result. Obviously,
at worst, a draw, I would, we
can't lose that match. And then I believe it's Hellas Verona after that, if I'm not mistaken. And, we all know the history with Hellas Verona with, the last game of last season. We have to play Atalanta, I believe, away from home. We have to play Sassuolo still. Sassuolo has taken points from us in 3 consecutive matches. So that's another difficult one. Udinese is a tricky fixture.
Atalanta's in there. Udinese, Fiorentina.
Yeah. So there's a lot of tough games to come. I think Fiorentina as well. Milan has a pretty similar schedule. So Inter, what they have going in their favor is the fact that their run-in is a bit easier. But we just saw them drop points to Genoa. And if they can't score, well, they're going to drop points to other teams too. So we need to hope that Inter doesn't figure out how to score. And you look at Milan's last 5 games of the season. I think I pulled it up here because it's pretty ridiculous. And I think this is why a lot of people are not even counting Milan as a scudetto contender. But their final 5 games of the season are Lazio, Fiorentina, Verona, Atalanta, and Sassuolo. Like, that's insane. And by the way,
Sassuolo being the last match of the season?
Yes. away as well.
Ours
Listen,
is
I'm scared of
ours is-
Empoli.
Ours is away to Empoli, home to Sassuolo, away to Torino, home to Genoa, away to Spezia.
Right. Much
Spezia,
easier.
Empoli, Sassuolo.
We would have taken the Atalanta, Fiorentina, and Roma games like that. If we can get past that, if we can get through that, in which not Fiorentina and Roma are both at home, we're at home to Sassuolo too, but Sassuolo are the away giant killers, man. They
are.
They have beaten teams away. Juve, Inter, I think Milan too. I'm not 100%, but just it is a tough. You're right, Joe. We've got it tough, but we've got it again healthy and focused. We're gonna beat anyone.
Yep.
Anyone.
Yep. I still. How many points, guys? So there's 33 points on the table.
33 points left on offer. Yeah.
30 points left. So nobody's gonna get over 90 points this season.
No.
Let's just have some fun. All right. How many points do you not for any team? How many points does the Scudetto winning team need this year? So, and obviously 90 would probably be the most obvious, but what is the realistic amount of points that you think the Scudetto winner is going to win this year?
Well,
I want to
yes.
get this out to the chat too. 33 points left.
And we're at 57 now, right?
Yeah, but this goes for across the board. So the winner of the Scudetto team, how many points do you think they're going to have? It's a tough question. So obviously 90 is the most that any team can get.
85.
85 wins the
Right
season.
there. 84, 85 is exactly where
You
I'm
can get to 84, 85.
It's basically, 8 wins and 3 draws, something like that.
Can you guys believe that? Because to me, that's one of the lowest Scudetto winning points totals.
For a little while,
we have to look at that. I'm sure we can look at that, but that's amazing for me. Yeah, 84 wins it. 84, 85. Yeah.
84. All right, so I think average.
Sorry, I was just going to say that just speaks to the competitiveness of the league, right? And last season as well.
Sure.
When you have, any team in the top half of the table, that's why when we look at this run-in, we're worried about Fiorentina and Verona and Udinese because any team in the top half of the table is a tough match, regardless of where you are in the table. So, when you have that level of competition, mid-80s it's a low number, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. No, absolutely. Almost like 91 is almost guaranteed a Scudetto practically in Serie A. Unless you're Napoli in 2018, then it's not. But any other team gets 91 points.
If Napoli were to go 11-0 and 11-0, we get to 90, exactly 90.
Then we definitely win the Scudetto.
I mean, I think so here's the thing
or at least,
Well, the only way we wouldn't is if Inter also win 12 straight matches.
That's true.
Right. That's the only way. So yeah.
True. Fucking game in hand. They had to ruin everything.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it, man. We're in first place. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
That game has not happened yet. I don't want to think about it.
Put some respect.
The other thing you guys have to remember too is that one of Inter and Milan are going to play in the final of the Coppa Italia. So that's another match.
Right.
I believe it's on May 11th, which is between rounds 36 and 37. So, one of those guys are going to be playing a cup final, which you have to try to win that with 2 rounds left to play with some pretty big stakes.
If there's any Napoli fan out there that is hoping that Inter lose to Liverpool, right? Or don't beat Liverpool 2-0 or more, you're out of your mind. You want Inter to advance against Liverpool any day of the week. We got to get these teams to keep going. Atalanta, I'm not too worried about. They're there with Juve too.
Then let me get to the next question, guys. I want to trigger some emotions. Juventus, especially after this winter market, are on quite a run. They were able to reach the 4th place I think they're 6 points ahead of Atalanta. I believe Atalanta have a game in hand as well. I think
they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, and Atalanta is about 44 with a game in hand now. It might have changed after their recent.
They won today, so I think they're even now. I believe.
Yeah, it's 47, so they're 3 points behind Juve. So
got you. Okay, yeah.
Listen, Juve, to me, it's not a team that just rolls over and dies. You know, they're going to keep trying. When they took 400 million to put into their team, they mean business. You know, when they spent 75 mil, they splashed that money for a striker.
Sure.
They mean business. And I'd like to know, where will Juventus finish after the end of this? Or at least, what do we think?
I'm going to say no higher than third.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to catch someone, they're going to catch Milan. I think Milan is going to falter. As much as I like Milan and have a lot of Milan friends, and what's up, guys? I just do. I think they're going to falter. I think a more realistic opportunity for them is Coppa Italia this year.
Okay.
And if they're in that final, they're going to want to win it. They crave a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want the scudetto, of course. But if you ask me, gun to the head, where do they finish? I mean, I say fourth, but they can get to third. Juve, for me, are just a little too injured right now. They had the thinnest bench I've ever seen them have last weekend. They won convincingly against. Well, I don't want to say convincingly against Empoli, but they won. They got the win.
This big take right here.
Napoli, Milan, Juve, Inter. Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I would switch Milan and Inter.
Yeah,
but yeah, Juve are stunned right now, you know, and they can't afford another injury. And I don't know how they're gonna go. You know, unfortunately, I never cheer for Juve in anything, but you also want to have them win against Villarreal because they continue their dream of this Champions League. And with a thin squad, they won't be able to compete in Serie A, if you ask me. So
Leonardo
could maybe get to third, but I think fourth is more realistic.
I'm going to read off Leonardo, then I'm going to get to you, Joe. A third place finish for Juve would be a wild success considering how bad they started.
Oh, for sure. And that's something they should be proud of, actually.
Yeah. Joe, I mean, they turned themselves around.
I've got them fourth. I don't think they're good. I think Vlahovic is lipstick on a pig. He's hiding a lot of how bad this team really is. They're not good.
Right.
I'm telling you, Juve are not a good team. If they get to third, and Rafa alluded to this, it's because other teams played poorly. It's not because Juve went on a 11 game win streak. Yeah, they're drawing a lot of matches. I disagree a little bit on that Empoli match. I mean, they got out to that lead and it looked like it was going to be a dominant win. And then Empoli came back. They got, they made it 3-2 and Empoli was all over them at the end of that match.
No, I did take it back. I said not convincingly, but they got the win.
Yeah. So it's still the same midfield. And now Zakaria got hurt too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, McKinney, Zakaria. Again, if you saw that bench, and this is before the Zakaria injury. If you saw that bench that they had, it was like, I think it was who came in for Zakaria? It was Locatelli. Locatelli and Morata were the only two big names on that bench. You had Ake, you had just guys. I was like, who are these guys? They're thin. They're very thin this year.
Right. I do like Locatelli. I think he's probably one of their better midfielders right now. I know Vlahovic, he's kind of in the same form he was at Fiorentina where he can score the goals. But guys, I'm with the panel here. I'm with Joe. I'm with Rafa. Like it's going to be because other teams are dropping points and failing at the last 30% of the season.
They get to third because they're Juve. You know what I mean? It's Juve.
Right.
Juve are going to do Juve things, and they'll get to third.
Yeah.
But they need to be careful because they could easily finish fifth. Atalanta is now emerging as a team at home that can play. Like they have one of the poorest home records this season. Yet today they squashed Sampdoria like a bug 4-0 without Duvan Zapata. So, watch out.
This and I was saying this, guys, like, and Nima was on a couple episodes ago, and I respect his opinion, but I think, even in December, right, when everybody was like, nah, Inter's got this, that's it. I obviously being a Napoli fan, it sounds biased, but I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, I don't think we know who top 4 is, man. I don't think we know who's going to win the scudetto. I'm not if Inter was up like 10 points, then all right, I'll get, maybe you can make a case for it. But I was like, man, I think some shit's gonna go down, and these teams, they're gonna get tired, right? They're gonna be dealing with something. And now you have Inter Milan, they still gonna beat each other up over the next week. This is a great Napoli have to seize the moment right now with these two teams or these other teams with all these other obligations. You playing once a week, you have the time to prepare, you're getting your players back. I mean, even Osimhen taking 2 shots to the face against Lazio, still in there fighting. I mean, that gives me a lot of confidence. Maybe the fact that Insigne tasted the goal finally for the first time this season. I mean, can you imagine if he starts scoring? Like, what a story. What a story. And speaking of stories, by the way, I go on the internet today. I went to Area Napoli and Football Italia. That's typically my first go-tos. And everybody, oh, this guy's coming to Inter, this guy's coming to Milan, Juve's thinking about this. Napoli, Real Madrid, probably buying Victor Osimhen. Manchester United, it's like, again, clockwork, bro. I called it like a few weeks ago. It's like, we do something good, they got to come and try to disrupt our players. And it happened again. This is why I'm saying it, because it happened again. The day after we win Lazio, the day we get back to first place, they're going to sell Osimhen because they know the Koulibaly's bullshit now. Well, let's sell Osimhen. And I'm like, man, it really is Napoli contro tutti, bro. It really feels that way.
Well, one thing, our friend Ben in one of our, I think it was in Renaissance chats, said it perfectly. For Napoli to win big trophies, we need to play 120% at a higher level than everybody else. One thing we haven't even touched on yet in this episode is, and it's because we won the match, or we would have spending a lot more time talking about it, is the handball that wasn't given and the penalty kick that wasn't given twice. Luis Felipe, 2 handballs in a couple of minutes.
Vincenzo in the chat asked about it, so please elaborate.
So
please elaborate.
That's just another example where it seems like we have to do a little bit extra to win stuff. And it sucks, but I agree. And the media is the exact same thing. There's always something to try to derail and put the team down, right?
But there's so much to talk. That's what bothers me, Joe. If Inter already, 10 points ahead, they're going to win it, fine. You can talk about the market. But the race, we haven't seen this in over a decade. Can we enjoy this suspense? Like, is there really nothing?
Bro, transfer talk gets the clicks. That's what it is, man.
I know, but Jesus Christ, why is it always with Napoli after we succeed?
And like you said, nobody's
ever
coming here. They're all leaving us.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I was like, you know what? Let me check, Rafa. Let me check. Yeah. Let me check the other teams, right? Yeah. Let me check what they're saying about them. Nothing. Only they're coming in here and they can do this. There was like 2 articles that were the same for everybody. It was about jerseys and Serie A, whatever. But no, everybody else going in for us, everything going out.
In reality,
always.
We don't normally offload our whole team. Like if someone
I don't
goes,
believe
they go
them,
once.
But...
Well, I'm saying, like, if anyone sits here and like really takes these things seriously, like in no way. Especially if we make the Champions League, which, I mean, if I have to say one thing is for sure this season, we're going to the Champions League. But in a season where we qualify for Champions League, there's no chance in hell that we're selling more than one player, for big money. There's no chance. No chance. I'm going to go out and say I doubt we sell anyone if we make the Champions League. You know,
Fabian
I
Ruiz?
mean, we might
Maybe
not.
Fabian.
Maybe Fabian, but maybe
Only
not.
because
Maybe,
he doesn't want to resign, though.
Wow.
You think we're gonna lose him? We're gonna keep him another year, and then we'll lose him.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, hopefully that goal just really
be good, Sean.
Listen, man. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. Hopefully that goal really did something for him, and he decides he wants to continue. I mean, I know he said some good things after the game about us, and I know that he's been quite quiet on the transfer front, or on the re-signing front rather.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just focusing. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's just all I know is that when you have a player like Lobotka helping Fabian move forward where he needs to be, Fabian is lights out. So if Napoli can guarantee that, if it's not going to be Lobotka, it's going to be Anguissa or someone like them to complement his play,
right?
Then maybe he stays. You know what I mean? Because
that's
where I was going. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, then let me ask you, Rafa. Without, we're getting to the hour mark, so we're going to wrap up things soon. But all right, would you keep? And then Joe, I'm going to extend this to you as well. Do you keep Fabian and that left leg for one more season and lose him on a free, or do you sell him over the summer? If he doesn't resign, by the way, if he does not want to resign, do you keep him in that left leg for one more season next season, or do you sell him in the summer and try to recoup some money?
That's a difficult question, because the fan in me
keep him.
The fan in me says keep him, but the realist in me says sell him and make a little money. And see, the thing is this: we're so good at finding replacements that I wouldn't even be worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to cash. We have to cash in. Like the business person in me, the person who realizes the financials and the reasons why ADL does what he does. Everybody calls him a papone, but I see other things. Is we have to, and unless they come up with some sort of a
sell
agreement to sign mid-season next year, it's going to be hard. But for that reason only, because I think if we get to the Champions League, we wouldn't even need the money for him.
Mm-hmm.
What if we win the scudetto this year, and qualifying for the Champions League already gets us 40 mil, Joe? Right?
Yeah, it's pretty much that's guaranteed. Yeah.
So if we win the scudetto, we win a lot more money too, don't we? Right.
It's about I don't know the exact numbers on the scudetto, but
I don't think it's as much.
Plus minus 100 million, I think.
There you go.
Because it was I think it was 80 million.
Let's say 100. Let's just say
Bob plus. I could be wrong.
To win the scudetto,
right?
That's 140 mil. Do you think we really need to sell Fabian? I mean, maybe we do because we want to cash in, but we don't need to sell him.
Used to be 80. I think it went up, Christopher, by the way.
So, that's the thing, we're put in a position where, and then let's say we do keep Fabian next season after winning the scudetto and go and qualifying for the Champions League. Let's say, for argument's sake, we make the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Now we've made more money in the Champions League than we ever have.
Right.
We're in an even better position for when Fabian wants to go for free.
Okay, I'm feeling that.
I'm just saying, I'm seeing far into the future, but the realist in me, the realistic Napoli guy, says gotta sell him.
Joe? More or less
pretty much the same thing. I think what my big question would be, and the rumors are that, and it's not even that much of a rumor, it's been the story for a long time, is that he wants to return home to Spain, which is pretty common among Spanish players.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is that if that's what he really wants, he at least allows us to sell him before his contract expires, because what we're seeing a lot of lately is, you look at Frank Kessie and all these players at Milan and elsewhere, is that agents are convincing their players to just ride out their contracts and then leave, because then whatever would have been paid in transfer fees can go towards commissions, higher salaries, and all these things. So, I think I completely agree with Rafa. I think if we're collecting all this revenue from other sources because we're successful and we can keep them, then fine.
Sure.
But the right business decision, if you know he wants to leave and not renew, is to sell him. And hopefully we can continue our strong recruiting and bring someone else in and potentially use some of that money or some of those winnings to beef up our depth on the squad. And I saw a comment about Patania, bring in someone like, Simeone or something. I don't know, get some better depth so that as we go forward, we're not having this conversation about whether we should compete in multiple competitions or only one. Let's use that money wisely, build a stronger team, and then we actually can compete on all fronts.
Mm-hmm. You said it best, man. Yeah, you said it best. Listen, if we can sell enough Easter kits, then maybe we don't need to sell that yet.
Are they going to drop? I'm going to put on a little closing music, guys.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's just a silly.
It won't be Easter themed. It's just going to be that time of year.
Yeah.
It's just, I see it. I thought we were going to
holiday time.
Yeah.
Little Easter bunny going. No.
But I mean, you look at the Flames kit. That's supposedly our Valentine's kit, so they can really.
That was the
Flames represent love or something.
I can't wait to see the St. Patrick's kit.
That'd be dope. Get a little shamrock over here with the N in it.
A shamrock with the N in it. Yeah, you're right.
They need to let us do what Borussia fans did, right? Didn't the Borussia allow their fans to vote for like new designs or
socios type things?
Yeah. See, that's ADL should do that and only get submissions from this show.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, like you said, right? That's a socios kind of thing, right? That's what being a shareholder is, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I think it'll be fun. I think so many people get on that.
I'm buying the Flames kit, by the way.
Then we might actually get the Letta in white that we've always wanted.
Dude, if that is part of that whole NFT or whatever the heck this whole thing is, what is cryptocurrency
Fan
is,
tokens,
right?
Yeah.
Fan tokens. Imagine that, Lette and Bianco. Wow. Amazing. If they could pull that off, then that would be amazing, I think.
All right, guys, rapid fire answers, and then we out of here. Okay,
Got
let's
you.
do it. Okay, quick, right here. Do you think? I'm sorry, Leonardo Rodriguez. Do you guys think that Napoli have done a great job retaining talents and not be the stepping stone like BBB, or where do we stand there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think we've done good. I mean, we've retained talent and we've sold them when we need to, or they've gone when we need to, and we've recycled. I think we've done very well.
Yeah, and we certainly have increased the value of a lot of players too.
Yes.
So stepping stone,
great
but
scout.
I think
great scouting.
We're doing a great job here. Guys, do you believe that Insigne will reach the 100 goals mark?
Ooh, 8 goals left in
11 games.
11 games. I think if we get like 6 penalties, maybe. Dude, he was like a left foot away from getting the second goal of the game yesterday. We're looking, and you know what? Real quick, buddy. One of my barbers who works once a month, right? Big Ajax fan. I talked about him on the show before. His name is Nolan. Big Ajax fan. He came to me and said, "Hey, there's 10 players in history that have recorded 100 goals and 100 assists in the same league. Not necessarily on the same team, but in one league, right?" And right after that, I realized, wow, Insigne is 8 goals away from 100 in Serie A. How many assists does he have? Would this put him at 100 and 100? I mean, you have to think, I don't know the count of the assists. I didn't check, but when you said that, Chris, it just triggered me. I think that would be awesome if he could get 100 goals before he leaves, man. That would be so great.
Like the story, the journalists want something to write about. There's going to be a lot to write about, man. So this one's for fun. United want Osimhen. How long until Osimhen Cavani swap is rumored? Cavani's never coming back.
Don't say that to me, Ralph.
That's my answer.
Don't say that to me.
He is never, ever.
I want him back so bad.
I want him back more than lots of things. But
bring him back to be like the Zanetti, something in the.
He's never gonna do it
in management.
Who do you want as that Insigne? This is a loaded question. Can we rapid fire this one even? Like,
yes, I'll say one word.
Give me one name. If you guys got a name, spit it out. But
Joe, you want to go at the same time?
Sure.
On 3,
2, yeah,
2.
Ralph, you got count.
I'll count down. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Elmas.
Berardi. He's staying in house, and I want Berardi, man.
Berardi is a great shot.
That would be awesome.
So underrated.
Quick answer: do we raise Tommaso's contract year or let him go for free to get?
Wait, do you raise Tommaso?
It's his birthday today, so
hey,
happy birthday!
And you know what? A lot of crap that we talked about Napoli's doctors and training staff last week when we talked about it. And just today, I started following one of our trainers. I think he's a massage therapist, and he followed me back.
Really?
Yeah.
Get him on the show. Rafa, get him in.
We got a lot of questions for him.
We have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah.
Carmine will be first in line for that one.
I'm not sure he speaks much English, but we could always get him in here and translate, you know?
Yeah, we'll do the Italian episode or something.
Yeah.
Be lots of fun. Joe, do you want to plug anything before we go? You got any projects coming on you want to let everybody know? I mean, just let them know where you're from.
Yeah, just Forza Napoli pod on all your usual platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and social media at Forza Napoli pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and at Joe_Fischetti5 on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's always a blast talking to you.
Of course, Joe,
pleasure is ours, man.
And
by the way, banger after banger after banger this year, bro.
Serious.
Man, you win 2022 to begin in 2022
for sure.
Banger after banger.
Nicola Zazzaro.
Nicola
is
Zazzaro.
His name. Yeah.
Okay.
He is a physiotherapist and an osteopath, a sports rehab.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation with that guy.
We need to talk to this guy, man.
All right, guys.
Step up your game.
Step it up, boys. But anyway, guys, thank you again, Joe Fischetti from the Forza Napoli podcast. Joe, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Big shout out to the chat. Thank you for sticking up. We had a great turnout today. Super fun. Thank you to everybody, man. You really do make this show worthwhile. Rafa, great show as always, man.
Yes, sir.
Next Sunday, check it out. If you haven't known already, the Tri-State Napoli Club. We're having a meet. Our first meet ever. New Jersey. I'm gonna be there. I took the day off. It's gonna be great. Definitely looking forward to it.
Yes, get the info. Get the info. Go to Tri-State. It's at @Tri_Napoli on Twitter. You can get the info. It is at a pizzeria in New Jersey. It's not too far from New York, so it's a pretty good location. I know Ralph Pizzato is going to be there.
I'm gonna be there. I'll be signing autographs for my new book.
Hell. I'm going to try like hell. Right now, I'm in. There could be a change in plans, but right now I'm in, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so great.
Oh yeah. Show it up. Yeah. But hit us up if you need any information, or you can reach out to Gaetano or Peter Scala and the DM on their Twitter. But until then, guys, Forza Napoli, sempre. Be good. Ciao, ciao.
Sempre. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.